Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. As you can see, we're coming to you live from Sonoma for the 4080 Sonoma Cup, and joining me in the combox for the pre-race show is Daniel Lee. Well Daniel, another round of V8 Supercar action, and this time back at Sonoma.
Yeah, good evening, Bernie, and good evening to all the viewers out there tonight. Sonoma, great little circuit, good participation tonight. Sorry, I think we're going to be in for a really good solid event tonight. And as you mentioned, 40-80 split. So what more could you ask for?
Oh, exactly right, and hopefully, folks, it's going to go a little bit smoother than last week. But the commentary team did an awesome job last week. Of course, this week you'll have Bailey Hall back in the combox to call all the action with Daniel very shortly. But before we get to that, Daniel, let's go through this event's overview.
Yeah, so as we said, 40-80 race tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking at around a 12-lap race 1, 25-lap race 2 events tonight. Fuel window, 2.7 laps or litres per lap, so the guys are probably going to be a little bit more conservative with the fuel, especially in the second race tonight. Fuel capacity, 50 litres, and we're looking at a pit window between laps 7 and 18, so we're going to get a stop in both events. Depending on how much you're putting in race 1, we may not see tyres, and that'll be a nice little bit of strategy play there, and obviously going to get a full service come race 2. Incident limit for tonight is 15 points, where the guys will get 1 fast repair as well. We will see potential for a safety car if there is any major issues in the start of each race. Hopefully not, and that'll let us go for a pretty solid event for the remainder.
Yeah, so that'll be something to keep an eye out on, is definitely those pit stops. Also, these 40k races generally, that's where we saw the trouble last week. Sonoma always brings out the action. How do you think that's going to go in race 1 here?
Oh, action aplenty. Some really good passing opportunities the guys are obviously going to want to make advantage of down in the likes of the hairpin and that. But you're going to see a lot of two-wheel action as the guys try and ride every bit of curb they can and shortcut the track as much as possible. So action aplenty. I don't know where we're going to end up focusing for the event. Obviously, it's going to be pretty action-packed, but the guys are going to love it. It's a great track. It's very exciting in the way that it moves. You go up and down. You've got a lot of left-right. And it's a bit of a challenge to get your head around as well. So look for the guys up the front, obviously, to be setting good times, but be really consistent on the way they get around this circuit as well.
Yeah, definitely. We better have a quick look at the point score, folks, before we hand over to our comm team tonight. So it looks like, Daniel, we've got Marlon McMullen leading the way, 1525 points. He's got quite a big gap there over second to Cooper Webster on 1390 points.
Yeah, and obviously teammates there in both Marlon and Cooper, so good job from them respectively. Brian Borg sitting in third at the moment on 1,290 points, so good job for him from the Laser Racing guys. Thomas Hinz, not that far behind in fourth on 1,255. He's with All Star Motorsports now, so good job from him. Fifth at the moment, another one of the PSS cars is Jamie McKnight on 910 points. So pretty close for the top 10 at the moment, and obviously as you go further down the list, we've got Jacob Knight, Kyle Stokes, Paul Preston, Michael Hammond, David Kidmon, all in around that 110, 120 point range at the moment. So if the guys have a good one tonight, look for them to jump that leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly right. And further down, I guess we've got Jake Maloney down 510 points. If he wants to get up in there, though, he's going to have some pretty stellar rounds, and I'm just not sure if there's going to be enough time to do that with the season. I think we're in the second half of the season now, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. So every race is critical. We haven't seen Jake in a lot of the events so far, so if he's able to get a bit more time in it, definitely those points are going to go up. Another good one, who's a little further down the order than probably where we'd expect, would Dane Warren. We know he's really quick at the moment, and I'm just trying to see where he is. Actually, I don't even have him on the list here, but he's another one to look out for. We know we can put really good solid race points together, and yeah, definitely look for him to make a good run at the back end of this series.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it looks like practice is just about over here now, folks. I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team to call all the action tonight, and that is Bailey Hall and Daniel Lee.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bernie, for bringing me back to box for what is California here at Sonoma Raceway. It's good to be back.
Yeah, and good to have you back here, mate. Looking forward to a lot of fun tonight. Have a quick recap, just as the guys are out on track at the moment. Currently leading the way, quickest time at the moment is a 1:12.428, and that's set by Jordan Ross at the moment. Mullen just behind him on a 1:12.87. So pretty good times there. Craig Jones, another one up there, 1:12.950, and just behind him Thomas Hinds on a 1:12.986. So pretty competitive times at the moment.
Yeah, and as you say that, Daniel, Dane Warren joined in the server late, and he's unable to put a qualifying lap in, so that's going to hurt him quite badly, but he's going to be coming from the back of the field and see how he goes tonight.
Yeah, definitely. But we know he's got good racecraft. We know he can push through the grid, and I think we'll have to keep a solid eye on him and watch his progress throughout this event.
Yeah, well, considering last week at the V8 Scops, he comes second and fourth in his races, respectively. So he'll definitely put on a show for us tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on him as he charges his way through the field. But as you said, Daniel, there's some nice competitors out there, and they're all quick, and they're all looking to race as hard as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we get ready now to take the grid, we'll start running through the order so viewers tonight can see where their favourite driver sits. Sitting on pole tonight on a 1:12.428 is Jordan Ross. Outside row one is Mullen with a 1:12.87. Craig Jones will start in third tonight, followed by Thomas Hinds. Brian Borg will start out of fifth with Nick Cummings alongside him. Cooper Webster will be in seventh tonight with Michael Tilichnik in eighth. Chris Robinson and Mullen will round out ninth and 10th.
Out of 11th tonight will be Henry King, with 12th being Jacob Knight. 13th tonight will be Carl Stokes with Greg Sharp starting out on his outside. Jordan McDonald started 15th, Mitchell Bales out of 16th, 17th will be Matt Mulligan, 18th Paul Preston, 19th Jonathan Ben, and rounding out your 20th Tyler Blackburn.
In 21st, we've got Adam Gardner. Alongside him will be David Kidmont. Gary Dawkins in 23rd, with Gary Cooper alongside him. Kai Sloggett will be starting out at 25th tonight, and JC Richards will be alongside him in 26th. Brad Hayes is in 27th tonight, with Stephen Varga alongside him. Then we've got Scott Clark out at 29th, and Paul Tujvara in 30th.
Just going to the last 9 on the field, Jackson South, Harlow, Tony Gaffer, Daniel Stevens, Matt Lepoidovan, Nick Hausler, Nathan Tregargens, Colin Bruns, and Dane Warren to round out your field, Daniel, as they're pretty much on the grid at the moment, getting ready to go green.
Yeah, it looks like we've got everyone jumped on tonight. Guys will be getting the race face on, revs will start rising soon, and we will be underway for the start of Split 1 40k race here at Sonoma.
Revs are starting to rise on the grid at the moment. Jordan Ross will take him away as the green light goes here at Sonoma for the Cup layout 4080.
Yeah, great start by Jordan there. Looks like Craig Jones got himself a good jump as well off the line, just slotted back into third. The guys behind have done pretty well. It's a bit of too wide action through turn 1 there, but everyone seems to have got through relatively unscathed.
Yeah, they're doing well so far getting through the field. Jordan Ross is going about 3 or 4 car length field over McMullen at the moment. He'll try to charge his way back through the field.
And I've just seen a couple of guys going off at the back, just into the dirt there, nothing too major, but the majority of the field has got through really well. Jordan Ross still got a good lead of about 0.7 of a second over Mullen at the moment. Craig Jones hot on his bumper with Thomas Hinds in 4th and Brian Borg sitting in 5th there.
They've pretty much filed themselves out at the moment, as they're pretty much coming into the last corner here for lap number 1. And as we mentioned earlier, 12 laps for race number 1, so it's going to be quick, short and sharp.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've just jumped back here with Brian Borg. He's starting to come under a bit of pressure here from Cooper Webster. Did he get the best drive off the hairpin there and had himself open for an attack? Managed to maintain that 6th position at the moment, and it's like that's one of the closer ones. We've got Thomas McMillan here and Kai Sloggett having a good one. So it looks like everyone's now settled down in that single file.
Yeah, as you say, that Thomas McMillan and Kyle Stokes were battling out for quite a while. They were too wide through the front of the track. But they've sorted themselves out now. Jordan McDonald's trying to charge his way through the field. He's up 3 spots already from his starting position.
Yeah, been really good job by both Kyle and Jordan. They're currently up. Big mover at the moment, we mentioned it early on, was Dane Warren. Up 15 spots at the moment, currently sitting in 23rd. And he's only about 0.3 of a second at the moment off Stephen Varga, just in front of him. And actually say that he's taken that spot already.
Yeah, he's now on the hunt of Adam Gardner at the moment and Jonathan Ben. He's hard charging his way through already, and those tyres will be getting the pressure on him. Unfortunately, he missed qualifying if he missed out earlier on in the broadcast.
Yeah, he's doing a great job though, making his way back through this field. Car looks very straight at the moment, so got an exceptionally good jump up the line and making his way forward. Just looking at our leaders at the moment, looks like Jordan Ross is still extending that lead over Marlon McMullen. We're looking at just a touch over a second at the moment gap between those two, and Marlon McMullen got himself about 0.8 of a second lead now over Craig Jones in 3rd.
Yeah, Craig Jones, very underdog for this event. Didn't expect to see him up on the top 3 at all. Hopefully he can hold Thomas Hinds off and try to get the podium for race number 1. He's doing himself very well at the moment, and he looks to be steadied in and ready to race forward.
Yeah, it certainly does, and it's good to see him having a good result. It wasn't that long ago he actually made a team change and joined up with the boys at CMR, so looks like it's paying dividends for him. He's doing very well at the moment.
Yeah, CMR is a great little team. They're supporting each other very well as they're battling the big dogs, as we call them out here, and the ones like such as ASM, PSS. They're up front quite often, but the CMR car up there, he's done himself well so far this event.
It certainly has. I've just noticed we've got one car in the pits here. Who is that? That's Nathan Tregarthen at the moment. Just trying to see what's going on here, but that car looks very second-hand sitting in pit lane.
Yeah, just switching onto it at the moment as he's been able to get back out there now as he's coming out of pit lane. But in the meanwhile, I see Henry King. He's just coming down pit lane at the moment. He's got a severe amount of damage in that Watercraft 00 car. Not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, disappointing for him. That's a new livery on that car tonight. It looks quite good in that red, white and black there, but not what he'd want to see as he makes his way down the lane. We might even find this stop of Henry's at the moment actually could play into the race strategy. We know the guys are going to have to make at least one stop for a bit of fuel, and this will get him out of the traffic, but it will have him down towards the back end of this field. Unfortunately, we are unable to go back to that replay at the moment, but it looks like Henry's got himself back out there just in front of race leader Jordan Ross. So he's got the team car just behind him. He'll want to make hay while the sun shines and start stretching that lead and get himself back into position after the guys take their stop.
Yeah, Jordan Ross will have to play this one right. He doesn't want to get too caught up behind him and loses the time he's got over Marlon McMullen, who has shown he's very quick at this track. He did the race fact files for last year's Sonoma race, along with Forza El Nabi, who unfortunately I can't see on the grid tonight, so he's going to miss this event. So Marlon McMullen's going to be battling his way forwards. Craig Jones is still sticking in there. Daniel and Thomas Hinds is not too far behind him. He's going to try battle his way up. Thomas Hinds has had a great race so far in the last few.
Yeah, it certainly has. Thomas has been very quick, and obviously we saw it previously last season, very quick at the back end of that championship, but still getting on very strong. Obviously made the switch. I think he's now with ASM and the Rat Corp guys there now, so hasn't affected his performance and still pushing hard for good results now.
Yes, that's right. He's done himself very well joining All-Star Motorsports as we've hit the halfway mark of the race here, Daniel. And just going to jump back onto Jacob Knight here. He's in quite a good battle pack at the moment with Greg Shark. There's Matt Mulligan in there. And also Jordan McDonald, who's still sitting in 12th position. They've single filed out, but Greg Shark looks like he's going to try and move up the inside, Daniel.
Yeah, good move from Greg there. He's in that Penrite sponsored Stealth Sim Force car. It's a good job there, but take nothing away. Jacob Knight, got himself a good drive off that corner there and was able to retain that lead.
That's right, Matt Mulligan, he'll be trying to push through also in the O2 car as he's just sitting on the back of him, gets held up a little bit, couldn't get the run off the corner he wants, but he might go for the dive down here into the final hairpin, just decides to slot back in there. He's in the cover Z as he gives Greg Shark a little bit of a bump there.
Yeah, it looked like Greg had the rears pinched just a smidgen on entry there, which backed him up a little bit into the back of Matt there, but got a good drive, able to start reapplying that pressure onto the back of Jacob there. But these three are a good little battle at the moment, probably one of the closest ones we've got on track currently.
Not too far behind, either is Dane Warren. He's pushing through the field at the moment. He's in 16th position, just behind that pack there, so he'll be trying to get through those guys as quick as possible. As he's got Matt Mulligan next on track to beat, as he's just previously passed Paul Preston.
Yeah, definitely doing a really solid job in that Rat Corp car, up 22 spots since the start of the race. So biggest mover so far definitely has to go to Dane Warren, and it looks like he's just able to pick these guys off at the right time. Majority of it seems to be under brakes, but the car looks very settled through the high speed stuff.
Yeah, he's choosing to take his corners wisely. He's not pushing the car too much where it's locking up and he's losing control of the vehicle. So we're going to possibly see, big amount of gain there in that corner. He's going to be all over the back of Matt Mulligan now, and the three of them are going to have to try fend Dane Warren off. As you said, he's charging through the field and he's 22 positions up at the moment.
Yeah, doing a great job there. These guys in front are just going to have to pay attention. A lot of mirror driving going on right now, but Dane gets a sneaky one up the inside through turn one there up the hill. That's a good job from him, and he'll start setting his eyes on Greg Sharp just in front of him.
Yeah, as we say that, Brady Myers in the RRTV chat room here on YouTube.com decided he'd chat down along there, and he said, Dane OP, please nerf fangs. Well, it's sounding about right now.
Yeah, it looks like we've had Thomas McMillan's having a big handful of sideways action at the moment in that car. Not sure what's going on with him, but he has dropped quite a few places down from 10th, and I think he got a bit of a helping hand into the wall there by the looks of it.
Yeah, not even a helping hand into the wall there. It looked like it started a bit earlier on the lap 2 there, Daniel, but that wall there did not help, and he almost got into the side of the 24 car of Jacob Knight. It was looking a bit dicey for a while.
Yeah, it certainly was. All the guys did well to get through that. Comfortable that Dane was on the team right there saying, mate, I'm coming through, look out for me. But yeah, good job there from Thomas to avoid everyone else and get that car safely off the side.
Yeah, he's back in pit lane now. He's requested a tow back there. But if we jump back up to the front of the field, Jordan Ross is still leading Mullen, not too far behind. And Craig Jones is getting there at the moment. He's just sitting behind a 00 car of Henry King, who's in the leader pack at the moment, showing some great speed with the car being fixed again. Thomas Hinds is not too far behind Craig Jones, he's pushing up quite quickly at the moment with Cooper Webster, a PSS guy. PSS has got 2 cars in the top 5 at the moment. Yeah,
doing a really good job from those guys. Obviously Henry King, the odd man out in this little battle pack, being a lap down as he lets these guys get under him there through the hairpin quite comfortably, so great awareness from him there. But getting a really good little train here at the back. We've got Nick Cummins here, Cooper Webster. Who else? We got Thomas Hinz, we mentioned earlier. Craig Jones. Good little battle pack here, third all the way back to about 7th at the moment. So these guys are doing well, but the two up front, Jordan Ross, Marlon McMullen, starting to streak away from this field.
Yeah, not even just those two. Jordan Ross alone is just flying at the moment. He's setting lap times under the 13s. There's only 2 of them doing it out there on the track at the moment. Yeah, so they're battling out there pretty quickly at the moment. They're having a cracker of the race so far.
Yeah, sure. Looks like Dane Warren is just sitting outside the top 10 now, up into 12th position. So still making his way up through the field. That's 26 spots. So guys on a fair mission. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him inside the top 10 at the end of this race.
Yeah, not quite sure if it's just a magnetic panel, but it looks like the left front of that car might be missed. Might reappear in a moment. We'll just have to wait and see. He's got Jordan McDonald in his sights at the moment. He's all over the back of him at the moment. He's going to try to get a run off the corner. Doesn't get a good one as Jordan McDonald, but he'll get the draft along the straight here, and he'll have another crack going up the hill into turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's just sitting back, just biding the time at the moment. It's working well for him under brakes, able to really close up that gap, start squaring off those corners. So potentially in the next lap or two, we might see a pass, but we're coming up to almost 1 lap to go as the guys make their way around the back half of this lap now. And we're almost going to be at the conclusion of race 1 very, very soon.
Yeah, nearly about 12.5 minutes into this race. Daniel, it's gone very quickly so far. So much action happening on the field. It's very hard to keep up with where everyone's at. But yeah, Jordan Ross so far has run a magnificent race. Started on pole. He's kept it in P1 at the moment.
Yeah, sure has done a great job. We might do a quick shout out of the top 10 at the moment, just for all the viewers. Actually, before we do, we just heard Jacob McDonald's actually had a spin there, so we'll just jump back and see if we can find out what's actually going on with that one. We're just looking here now. We've got Jordan McDonald. He's just in front of Dane Warren. We're just going to see if maybe got a bit of a helping hand there, or if he's done it all on his own. I think maybe just a little early break, got a slight corner from the front edge of Dane there, and that's pushed him off track, unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it looked like he was having a few electrical issues there, blinking in and out of the tracks. Might be a few internet issues possibly on his side, so that's very unfortunate for him. As Jordan Ross will now start the final lap of the race.
And we are hearing that that incident there with Dane and Jordan looks to be a bit of the old dreaded netcode, so very unfortunate in that respect there, and very disappointing. He'll have to look forward to getting back on it in race 2 now.
Quickly jumping back to live now as we see Jordan Ross taking race number 1 here at Sonoma in the sunny California summer dreams here, and that was a great drive by him. You'll see Marlon McMullen coming across in second, and Craig Jones come home in third for what a hell of a ride he had, and he's done very well for himself so far this race, Daniel.
Yeah, sure has. Great job, led start to finish. Can't ask for much more than that. Now that we got the guys coming across to finish this one, we will quickly get back through and have a look at where all the guys are finished up for race 1 here at Sonoma.
Before we do that, quickly, don't worry, we've still got another race to come, guys. Another 25 laps around here at Sonoma. This will read off the results. We'll change over on the servers, and we'll be back for race number 2. So we'll get underway with the results. Daniel, if you want to kick it off.
I might let you do it, because I'm getting some conflicting info here, mate.
No problemo. So coming home in P number 1 for race number 1 was Jordan Ross, who led it from pole. Coming home in second was Marlon McMullen, and third was Craig Jones. Thomas Hinz come home in fourth, and fifth was Nick Cummins. 6th was Cooper Webster. Brian Bullock would come home in 7th, and Chris Robinson would come home in 8th. Coming home in 9th was Michael Talancic, and coming in home in 10th, rounding out your top 10 was Kyle Stokes.
In 11th tonight, we had Dane Warren, who we saw come up from the back of the field. They're up 27 spots, so great job from him. Matt Muggleton in 12th tonight, followed by Paul Preston in 13th. Tyler Blackburn has come home in 14th, with David Kidmon not far behind him in 15th. Gary Cooper was 16th tonight, with Greg Sharp just behind him. Jacob Knight home in 18th, with Steve Varga in 19th, and Adam Gardner in 20th.
Coming out 21st tonight was Jackson Harlow, with Brad Haig not far behind him in 22nd. 23rd tonight was Gary Dawkins, and Jordan McDonald, after a spin, would come home in 24th. 25th would be Tony Gaffer, and Nick Hausler would come home in 26th. Jonathan Ben would come home in 27th, and 28th would be Matt Lepoidevin. 29th would be Daniel Stevens, and rounding out your 30 would be Kai Sloggett.
Coming home in 31st was Kyle Bruns, and he was actually the last of our lead lap drivers there. Starting lap down, or finishing a lap down, was Henry King in 32nd, with Scott Clark in 33rd. Nathan Tregarthen in 34th, and then the guys who unfortunately looked like they retired from the race was Thomas McMillan, 35th, JC Richards in 36th, Paul Tujfara in 38th, and Mitchell Bales in 38th. So not too bad a race tonight. Went pretty quick for race 1 at least, and now we've got to get set up and ready to go for race 2 here.
Yeah, that's right, Daniel. As we quickly have a quick look at our movers and losers for race number 1. Dane Warren would start in P38 and come home in 11th, up 27 positions. He's our biggest mover, and he had a great drive, just finishing outside the top 10. Having a look at our bigger loser, it looks like Thomas McMillan, who retired. He started in 10th and come home in 35th to lose 25 positions. Unfortunate race for him.
Yeah, definitely. He was having a really good, solid run there, and as I said, a little bit of the old netcode issue, and ended the race, unfortunately for him. But yeah, now we've got to get ready for race 2, and obviously it's going to be a little longer, 25-lap race now. Definitely going to have a 1 pit stop in this one, so it'll be interesting to see where the guys look at taking that, and yeah, get ready to go.
Yeah. Up in the green room, we're just going to head down the pit lane quickly. Daniel is down there at the moment with Chris Robinson for an interview.
G'day, Chris. Welcome to RRTV commentary box, mate. Race 1, done and run. How'd you find it out there tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty wild and loose from my part, but not too bad.
Getting home in 8th position, nothing to be sneezed at, mate. How'd you find track conditions, and obviously with the amount of cars we had, any major issues out there at all?
Not really. I think it's more or less what it was in practice or qualifying earlier, so that's not too bad. But yeah, we had the anti-roll bar set at 9 or 10 and didn't have a button map for it, so awkward mistake.
And give us a bit of an idea for the guys not knowing much about the series. What sort of impact were you mainly getting out of that?
Just as the tyres started to go off, the thing became like a sprint car, basically. And it's pretty evident for the poor fellas behind me. So sliding all over the shop.
Oh, it makes it a bit of fun in the V8, and we enjoy that. But obviously, turn our attention to race 2. Would you like to see much different in strategy-wise for you guys at all?
I don't think so. I think it's reverse top 15 grid, so I practically start where I finish. So not a big advantage, but it's always pretty awkward with the fast guys coming through. So a bit more overtaking, but probably a bit more carnage too, I reckon. Yeah,
definitely. Always something to be wary of there, especially if it is a reverse grid scenario. That definitely spices up the round. But before we let you get on and start turning your attention to race 2, mate, might get a shout out from all your sponsors on board tonight.
Yeah, mate, big thanks to LeBlanc, TTO Esports as well, with their driver academy coming on, and NZen Design.
Fantastic, mate. Well, again, congratulations on the 8th for race 1. Definitely be keeping an eye on your race 2 to see how you go through that one, and we'll hopefully probably hear from you at the end of that one.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
Well, that was Daniel down in pit lane with Chris Robinson for an awesome interview there. We're just going to do a quick shout out to a couple of guys in the YouTube chat room. We got Jordan McDonald down there, who unfortunately didn't have a great race. He was doing all right into the last few laps there, Daniel. Thomas McMillan's down there, who retired early. Brock Cadday from ASM supporting his boy. So there's a few down there at the moment, Daniel.
Yeah, sure. Looks like Jordan's actually given us a bit of an update. Got the dreaded Windows update in the screen. That's what caused him to slow in front and lead to that one. Not ideal for him. No doubt that'll be all switched off come race 2, but yeah, not something we enjoy seeing.
Yeah, the Windows 10 update kills a few of the track. It's almost like having a big bird come across your windscreen. Just hurts your feelings.
Yeah, it sure does. I'll be interesting to put a bit of a viewer question out to the guys on the YouTube chat tonight. Predictions for race 2. Who are we likely to see as a race winner, and what are we looking at for a random or potential safety car if there is one, and will the guys take fuel as well as the tyres? It'll be interesting to see what the guys out there think might happen tonight.
Yeah, and saying that, guys, just remember it is a top 15 reverse. So they'll make it quite interesting as they've got a hard charge the way back through. Yeah,
it sure will. So what will that put? That'll see us potentially with David Kidmon up on the pole there. So it'll be interesting to see how he and Tyler Blackburn managed to get themselves away at the start of this one. If anything, probably helps out the likes of Dane Warren there. Finished 11th on that one. I would expect that he'll be up towards the pointy end very, very quickly from the race start, but we'll need to keep an eye on the likes of Jordan and Marlon to see how they come back through. Obviously, we know they had great cars in race 1, but what can they do being a little bit further down in the pack?
Yeah, considering they were about a second faster than anyone's, most people's lap times out the race, and even 2 or 3 seconds faster than some of the other people who were caught more in traffic. They definitely could use that advantage of their knowledge on the track to their advantage, use it, and they could get through traffic as quick as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen it already. If you get a good car under you can definitely push your way up. Evident, Dan Warren with the position. So he was able to gain through race 1. So I'd expect we'll see these guys pushing their way through. We know they're good, clean racers. They do have championship battles in mind, so that'll be something else that'll be playing on their mind as well. So, you can't win the championship if you don't finish the races, and points are always important in these ones.
Yeah, well, our series points leader coming into this round was Marlon McMullen, and coming home in second definitely would have helped the points for sure, as he's now got to try and battle his way back up through the field and get as many more points as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we've seen it in past championships where it comes down to a race here and there and half a dozen points each way, but that'll be always on the mind as they get through. And looks like we're just about ready to jump back into race 2 now. Looks like the servers just come up now, so these guys will all be making their way in, and hopefully won't be that far off, and we'll be back underway for race 2.
Yeah, guys, so make sure you stick by. We've got another 80k race to go, 25 laps, and in the meantime, we're just going to run a couple ads for you guys as we switch over to the new servers, but be sure to check us out on facebook.com/RRTV live for the week update. Welcome back to RRTV, the Australian Online Supercar Championship. We're here at the 4080 Sonoma race here in California, the sunny California. I'm here in the commentary box with Daniel Layett, and we're back for race number 2.
Yeah, all the guys are getting in now, just getting a little bit of practice in under the new server conditions, maybe looking to run a little more fuel and set themselves up for a slightly longer 80k race here at Sonoma.
Yeah, if you've just joined in with us, race number 1, cracker 12 lapper to see Jordan Ross take the win in what was a remarkable race for him. He had an awesome one. And, he won that one by a few car lengths over Marlon McMullen and Craig Jones. Daniel?
Yeah, really good race watching those guys get around. Jordan and Marlon actually class act of the field. Only guys that race inside the 112, so really good consistent cars for them. We know we're going into this one, we've got a top 15 reverse split, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do pushing their way back through now, but yeah, very, very good. And the guys behind, take nothing away from them. Craig Jones, Thomas Hinds, Nick Cummings, Cooper Webster, Brian Borg, Craig Robertson, who we heard of before we changed servers there. All quick guys in their right, all doing very, very well. So everyone out here tonight pushing very, very hard.
Yeah, about 3.5 minutes, of practice left to go. And we'll send them green again for 25 laps. It's going to be a tough one again. You got to double the laps. So strategy will come into play for this one. When do they take their pit stop? When don't they take their pit stop? And how they're going to use their tyres, considering they're using the tyres quite heavily around this track and trying to get on the curbs as much as possible to lighten up the tyres. It's going to make it very difficult for the drivers out there, considering after 12 laps last race, Daniel, they were slipping and sliding all over the track. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think if I put my racing cap on and you look at where you're starting on the grid, if you're behind, say, that top 15, you're probably going to want to get in early, get out of traffic, see if you can make up a little bit of room there around some of the guys with clear air. If you're up towards the podium, the top 10, top 15 there, I reckon you're probably going to try and push in as late as possible. But when you come in, especially if you're the front runners, it's probably going to be dependent too on how close you get up on the back of the lap traffic. And we had race 1, obviously Henry King had a bit of issues there in the Synergy car. Good awareness from him, he was able to sidestep those lead pack guys as they got through. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Personally, I would be pitting if I was up front with the leader, making sure you stay with them. As obviously they're going to be the fast ones of the race. There's Dane Warren, who's starting out of 4th for this race. Daniel, he will, after race 1's performance, you would expect him to skip away.
Yeah, definitely. And just looking at what we've got out, sort of current race pace at the moment, with the guys, obviously we know they've got a bit more fuel on. The times are a couple of tenths of a second slower, as we say that. Jordan comes and sets a 12.9, but majority of the guys at the moment are around the 13.1 to 13.5. So maybe you get the right strategy and the right bit of tyres, you're in with a good shot.
Yeah, that's right. If you can serve your tyres for the time you've got the fuel in the car, you can keep it clean, don't get dirty, don't get them dirty, so you should be all good.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Chris was saying, when he jumped, or we caught up with him in the pit lane there, didn't have the ability to adjust the sway bars. That's going to need to be set up and active, because with the longer one, and as you said, you cook those tyres pretty hard trying to get the power down around here. You're going to want to have the adjustability in the car to help get it off those corners better.
Yeah, that and the brake bias coming to a huge factor in the V8 Supercars. If you're new to RRTV, be sure to check us out on facebook.com/RRTV live, and make sure you like, stream if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Comment down below on how we can improve things for the better viewing of yourselves. As we've got about half a minute left of practice, Daniel will get into the grid for race number 2.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but we said it before, and we'll mention it again for the viewers out there tonight. Interesting with the top 15 reverse grid. we're going to ask the question, who do you think is going to be in for the race win? And what time are we likely to see him come in for a pit stop tonight?
Yeah, picking the 1, 2, 3 is going to be quite tricky. I believe, without even seeing the full grid at this point in time, I can see Dane Warren, if he does start out of P4, I can see him become getting home in first, unless he has a few issues with cars or lap cars. We'll get underway with the grid. So they'll start gridding up on the track. There we go. So out of P number 1 for race number 2 today will be David Kidman. Out of P number 2 will be Tyler Blackburn, and on the inside of row number 2 will be Paul Preston with Matt Muggleton. Dane Warren is out of 5 and Kyle Stokes is out of 6. Michael Talenjic will be out of 7 with Chris Robinson out of 8. Brian Borg will be out of 9, and rounding out your top 10 will be Cooper Webster.
Starting out of 11th will be Thomas Hinds with Craig Jones just behind him. Marlon McMullen will be out of 13th tonight with last race winner Jordan Ross starting out of 14th. Greg Sharp will be out of 15th tonight with Jacob Knight behind him. 17th we'll see Stephen Varga, and 18th will be Adam Gardner. 19th will be Jackson Sulis Harlow, who's didn't see him in the race 1, with Brad Hayes just behind him in 20.
Alright, we'll finish off the grid a bit later on as their revs arrive and they're off. We've got a 30-car field here for race number 2. As they're 3 wide off the grid. Dane Warren gets a nice jump on the outside. He's flying at the moment. He's getting up into as many positions he can as early as possible. Let's get dicey through here. They're 3 wide. And it's going crazy at the moment, Daniel.
Sure is. Dane Warren got a great start. Looks like he's jumped himself up into 2nd there from 5th, so not wasting any time at all getting up there. Saw a couple of wiggles down towards the backpack there, but looks like everyone's managed to get themselves through. And about the top 15 to 20 now are all getting back in single file.
Yeah, Dane Warren is already in first position on lap number 1, starting at a P5, and he's already going to start making the hard charge, get as much ground on people behind him as quick as possible. As if we jump back a bit further in the pack, Thomas Hinds, he made up a position already on top of Chris Robinson on the right-hand corner there, back a few corners ago, and he made an awesome move down the inside. He was able to pick up a couple of positions.
Yeah, sure is. Oh, we've got a spinner there. Oh, nearly got in the back. Who was that? I think that was Brian Borg. Just in the back of... Who was that? Was that Chris Robinson? It was just behind them. So those guys have settled underway again. But everyone's trying to make that move under brakes as late as they can and try and claim that spot as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, you got to compromise brakes, or you got to take off the acceleration off the corner. It's quite a tricky choice going into that one. It's a good passing spot. You can generally make up a couple positions if you take the corner right also. But as if we jump back up the front there, Daniel, Dane Warren, he's out of there. He's said goodbye, and he's already got about a 2-second lap over David Kidman.
Yeah, stretching that gap very, very well. As you say, just on 2 seconds now, so doing an excellent job. Just behind David Kidman in 2nd, we've got Matt Muggleton in 3rd at the moment. Tyler Blackburn still just behind him in 4th, and Michael Tillenjack sitting in 5th at the moment. Sorry, mate, if I butchered the last name there, but he's only 4.5 seconds off the lead, so these guys potentially, once they get settled down, could start making their way back up towards Dane.
Yeah, a couple PSS guys up in the top 10 at the moment. There's 3 of them from my quick eyesight up there. So they're dominating, 4 with Marlon McMullen, who's just jumped up into the top 10. So it's looking to be a good race so far. As Jordan Ross, our last race winner, is currently in 12th position.
Yeah, he's still working his way up. He's got Craig Jones just behind him. And we saw those guys having a pretty good run in race 1. Obviously, Jordan got the win there. So they're making their way back up. Jordan's going to have a pretty good dive here up the inside of Chris Robinson pretty soon, I'd imagine. As he gets that move pulled off, Craig Jones tries to sneakily push the nose up and follow him through.
Yeah, Craig Jones thought about it there. I was having a look at him. I go, geez, he might have a crack at this one. Didn't get up the inside just enough, and he'll have to slot back in behind Chris Robinson here. This could compromise Craig Jones. He could have sat on the back of Jordan Ross, got a bit of a ride through all these and get some, but he's now going to get past Chris Robinson to try and get back up to Jordan Ross.
Yeah, and that's also going to bring Greg Sharp in the mix there in the Penrite Stelson Force car. And Jordan McDonald, who we know race 1 had a Windows issue later on, but these guys are getting into a good little battle pack there, and I wouldn't expect that these guys are going to probably stay pretty close up until that pit strategy. Looks like Jordan's got himself a new paint job on that car as well, which looks quite sharp. I think that's one of the Night Rider Designs entries as well, so looking very sharp out there in the Phoenix entry.
Yeah, beautiful livery out there at the moment, but if we're still jumping back up with Dane Warren once again, he's on lap number 4 at the moment, and well, he's about almost 5 seconds ahead of Matt Mulgan, who's got past David Kidman in 3rd position. Michael Talangic, he's up in the 4th position, and Cooper Webster is up in the 5th position. The 2 PSS guys, Michael and Cooper, they'll be working together to try to run down Dane, which could be the impossible.
Yeah, I think Dane's just checked out. He's gone. We won't see him until the checkered flag now at this rate. 5.5 second lead at the moment. The guy's just walked away, so not too bad there from him. But as you said, these guys behind, Matt Mulliton, Dave Kidman, Michael Tulinic, Cooper Webster, all pretty close together. Thomas Hint's a little further off than what I'd expect at this point. He's looking at about 8.5 seconds off the lead of this race, but about 1.5 seconds behind Thomas Hintz currently.
Yeah, don't count him out. He'll be a late racer. He comes in late in the race and tries to battle his way through the worn tyres. He's pretty good on his tyres generally. And so we'll see what he can do a bit later on in the thing. But we're going to jump back to Brian Borg at the moment, who's leading the battle pack with Paul Preston, Marlon McMullen, Jordan Ross there. He's caught back up to Marlon McMullen. Craig Jones is in the battle pack, and Chris Robinson. They're all in there, Daniel.
Yeah, sure. Plus you got the couple of blokes just in front as well in Tyler Blackburn and who's that, Thomas Hintz. So that's a great little train starting to build up behind these guys. And we know Marlon's quick. He's looking at that championship to fight for as well. But himself and Jordan having a little bit of difficulty now pushing their way back up. And as we say, that looks like Marlon nicely under there, and Jordan follows suit, trying to get around Paul Preston at the moment as well. Yeah,
it looked like Jordan Ross got a bit sideways there, but he was able to catch it, and he's able to get that car straight again. As Marlon gets himself up in the 9th position, now he's going to run down Brian Borg. He's had a pretty consistent racing recently. He's had a good race race number 1, and he's having a good one so far.
Yeah, sure is. He's doing well. We know he's quick in this car, and again, showing it again tonight, just behind those guys. Looks like Craig Jones just ran a bit wide there on the back of Jordan Ross, but Jordan going up the inside, trying to get this move done on Paul. Maybe a slight touch of contact, but has to just fall back behind there, and these guys are still fighting it over 10th at the moment.
Yeah, Jordan Ross is putting it up the inside, but he can't make it stick as Paul Preston's just getting a beautiful run off every corner. Jordan tries to chuck it up the inside. Not sure if that's the line Paul Preston's taking just to get the nice run, but I dare say Jordan will have another crack along here coming into the final, well, one of the final turns here. Looks like he'll be just looking for a nice run off the corner. Even that, Craig Jones looks up the inside of Jordan Ross, Daniel.
Yeah, Jordan definitely getting held up here behind Paul at the moment. Half expecting if this continues on for much longer, we might see Jordan actually take that quick stop, which we thought could potentially happen with the guys looking to play strategy. But what it is doing is allowing Mullins to start extending the gap over those guys at the moment. Mullins in a pretty good little battle here. Tyler Blackburn just in front of him, Brian Borg. Looks like David Kidman just run wide there as they make their way down that little short chute. He's lost a spot to Brian there. So these 4 is going pretty hard, and as we say that, Mullen McMullen back up the inside, grabs another spot over Tyler Blackburn there.
Yeah, David Kidman, who started on pole for race number 2, is just not having the one he wanted at the moment. He's struggling a little bit with pace. Thomas Hinds passed him about a lap ago for 5th position, and now Brian Borg's got by him, and now Marlon Mullen's going to be pushing him as much as he can.
Yeah, definitely, and these guys are doing it pretty fair. They're biding their time. Marlon just grabbed another one up the inside of David Kidmore. Craig Jones just behind these guys, getting it all sideways on the exit there, and he's hit the wall and lost a couple of positions. So got it stopped in a pretty precarious spot as the guys make their way under that front straight, and we'll see whether he drops this one back into pits, which I think he's doing right now. And we're just going to grab a replay of that one just so you guys can see what happened there to Craig Jones. And as I said, yeah, it looks like from what we're seeing here, contact with that wall to make their way into the hairpin. So just got that tyre barrier, and that's all she had in it.
Yeah, unfortunate for him there as he was having an absolute cracker of a race, especially after his race number 1 result. So unfortunately that might be him race, or won't be him race over. He'll get back into the pits, get that thing repaired, and get back out there for some points, obviously. But that's going to very damage his points in the standing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was good avoidance there by Chris Robinson to have an eye open and miss that incident with Craig there. But these guys will get back underway. I think Craig will take that quick repair, and as long as he's not held too long for a tow, he should be back underway pretty soon.
Yeah, Craig Jones is 21st currently in our standings, going the race number 1. Not considering the points that come out of race number 1, so he was doing alright. He was going to try to get himself into the top 20, which he probably did, considering he got that 3rd result in race number 1.
Yeah, sure did. And just looking back, this got a good little pack starting to build up here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. We might let Dane go. He's got a 10-second lead here at the moment, but battle here for 2nd position starting to fight up. We've got Matt Muggleton in this, Michael Tallenjack's in there, Cooper Webster, Thomas Hinds. So good little battle here, and we'll have to see which way these guys look to blink. Does someone want to take an early stop, or are we going to see some more action up the inside through that hairpin?
Yeah, as you say, early stops. Thomas McMillan and Brad Haig went down pit lane, and Henry King went down pit lane, but I'm not sure if he missed his box there at all, because he hasn't actually hit the jacks at all.
Yeah, that's an interesting, that one. I'm not too sure what's going on that one. I was just watching Matt Muggleton, got a very late stop in the hairpin, nearly lost a spot there to Michael underneath, was able to hold that. We're still looking status quo at the moment with Matt sitting 2nd, but he's sliding that car hard off some of those corners at the moment. It's great to watch.
Yeah, we just had some confirmation that he did actually hit the jacks. It was a bit of telemetry issues. As the 868, the LeBlanc Redback racing car, or Stephen Varga, he's been down pit lane. He's on his way out at the moment. So there's a few cars out there, Daniel, that are going the undercut, and they're going to race a bit longer on the tyres, not try to go the 50% of the race. So that will be quite interesting as he comes out just behind Henry King. Yeah,
absolutely. I think just looking at the guys that have stopped, looks like the quickest time so far was Brad Hayes there, but all in all, these guys are getting down the lane in about 37 seconds, so we'll have to keep an eye on these top guys up the front just to see what the overall time is that they take. But I think we're going to look at stops of around that 8-second mark as we say that Mullen is back in, or is in the lane now for his first stop tonight.
Yeah, so he might have thought maybe he was getting held up a little bit at the front there with some of the cars, couldn't get out of the battle pack, so he decided to head down pit lane, get fueled up, new set of tyres, and go try and catch back up to them and get the undercut.
Yeah, absolutely. Might be worth having a quick note, just looking at the lap times going on here at the moment. Quickest guy out, no surprise, Dane Warren. Currently got the quickest lap of the race at a 1:12.571. Last time by, nearly 2 seconds up over what Matt Muggleton and Michael Tallenjack were doing. He did a 1:13.6, while the guys behind were in a 1:15.5. So it's got a lot of pace under that car at the moment, and still a stop to come.
Yeah, heaps of speed in there as he starts lap number 12. We're almost halfway in the race, guys. This is race number 2 of the Sonoma, California 4080 race here. It's been an awesome race so far.
Yeah, it looks like pit stops now are starting to go through. So we've got Michael Tallenjack's in. Who else have we got here? Brian Borg's in behind him. David Kidmon, Jordan Ross, Chris Robinson, Jordan McDonald, Greg Sharp. A whole host of guys in. Adam Gardner's in here at the moment as well. So the first stops are now starting to happen. We're lap 11. Who's that? Nick Houser's in, series organiser as well. So keep an eye on what these guys are doing stop-wise. We know we're looking at about 37 mark at the moment. We've got the guys now heading out. Brian Borg, 39's total time.
Yeah, some quick pit stops here at Sonoma as Dane Warren shoots himself down pit lane on lap number 12. So he's down to do about the halfway mark. So he's going to put 50% on each set of tyres of the race. And it'll be interesting to see who doesn't take the stop this time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dane's probably just playing a pretty safe strategy coming in. Looks like Matt Muggleton's just followed him into the lane as well. As Tyler Blackburn and Paul Preston, we say that, are all coming in as well. So not a bad strategy from Dane. He's going to spread that workload pretty easy, but we know he's got pretty good pace under this thing. So we'll just see where he comes out back in the fold after all these stops get underway.
Yeah, Cooper Webster and Thomas Hins, they stayed out. Mistake me if I am wrong, Daniel, but does my telemetry say I'm correct if Dane came back out in third?
Yeah, he's come back out in third, so great stop from him there. That was a 38.7 total time, but I think we'll see him clear out back in front again once these are all done. But good job from Cooper. We'll see him up in the lead at the moment, so that's a few spots gained for him. He's up 9 spots currently, along with Thomas Hins behind him in second. So the West End Mazda guys and the ASM cars still doing pretty good there.
Yeah, as both of them jumped down pit lane on lap 13. See how quick they can come down the pit lane. They don't want to lose too many positions, as Dane Warren will be not too far away from jumping up back into P1. Getting himself an excellent lead in his first stint.
Yeah, absolutely. Walked away from the field. What it will do is it'll put, by the looks, Dane's got back underway, but it'll move Jordan Ben, I think Scott Clark will actually jump up from 4th and 5th respectively into 2nd, 3rd. They still do have stops to go for these two guys, but driving very well. Jordan up 23 spots currently. Scott Clark up 27. So haven't stopped, but they're making good positions up the field at the moment.
We just got word that Thomas Hins was able to jump Cooper Webster in pit lane, as Thomas Hins is currently in 4th position, closing in quite quickly on Scott Clark, who's in 27th. He's having an awesome race so far as he goes up the inside, and Brian Book is looking at it, thinking about it, unable to stick it.
Yeah, it looks like Scott was pretty aware of that move coming there from Thomas, so didn't really fight it too much. We do know he's on the oldest tyres in the field at the moment. Those have got 14 laps on them respectively, so he'll probably look to be jumping to the lane pretty soon as he gets a bit of a nudge there from Brian, and I think he'll be coming in now that he's getting swamped by these guys getting through.
Yeah, Michael Talenjic in 6th position at the moment. He's on the back of Matt Melgren, who's on the back of Brian Borg, and it's quite a train at the moment. Even Cooper Webster's there, Marlon McMullen. So there's a few PSS guys up there at the moment, and they're kind of working together. As Cooper Webster Marlon McMullen follows Cooper Webster. And he's not too far down the track.
Yeah, definitely. He's pushing through really good. The lap times are very competitive. From where are we? Marlon at the moment was a 13.8. Compare that to the likes of Brian Borg the lap before, a 14.7. So got a lot of pace under that. He'll be on the back of this train within a lap or two, if not sooner. But Brian's doing a good job holding off these guys behind him, not making it easy at all for Matt and the fellas behind him there. So we've come to sort of expect that from Brian in this series now, and he's really showing what he can do in this car.
Yeah, Thomas Hens, who we said is a late racer, he's currently in second position. As he always seems to put on a show, no matter what car he runs. If it goes to the NASCARs, if he goes into the GT3s, he seems to always put on a show, and it's enjoyable to watch him also in the ASM car.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a man of many talents. He, like you say, he doesn't mind jumping into anything with wheels on it, and again, proving that it doesn't really matter what the car is, he can drive the wheels off it. Just having a look at, looks like we've got Craig Jones has actually lost the lap here to Dane Warren. We saw him have that early race contact with the pit wall. That was, how long ago now? That was going back at least 10 laps now, I believe it was. So not a great night for Craig in race 2. Obviously had a great run race 1, but yeah, not what he was looking for.
Yeah, he'll want to get himself up in the positions as quick as possible. As we've only got about 9 laps left of the race, guys, in this very short race. And it's even shorter when you got Dane Warren leading it, because those lap times are quite quick. As we jump on to the 029 car at the moment. Yep. Blackburn, the 947 car. You'll see on screen for the replay, he seems to got together with Paul Preston of the 029 car, and the 947 car of Tyler Blackburn is now carrying quite excessive damage to the right side of that car. Very unfortunate for him.
Sure is. I actually think it might have been Chris Robinson who was getting the nose up on the inside, nearly up to the B pillar there. I think that might get a warrant from a look from the officials after the race, but I did notice that happen, so that's not great to see for Tyler there, unfortunate.
Yeah, he was doing quite well in the race, to tell you the truth. He was keeping and hitting his marks out on the track, hitting the curves nicely, getting off the curves nicely, and yeah, as we said, he was doing nice. He was, up there and about. He was battling it out in the packs. But he'll now slot in behind Nick Hausler in the 015 car. He's trying to battle his way into the top 20s. He's now up to 18th position.
Yeah, and as you're saying, Tyler had some really good pace under that car. Saw him dipping down into the 14.1s, which is reasonably competitive for the midfield at the moment, and obviously having the ability of the split top 15 for this race definitely helped him out there, but looking to do a really good job. I think it made it quite difficult for the guys behind him managing to get their way through as well.
Yeah, it sure is. As we jump back up to Dane Warren again, he's currently got a massive lead with about, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's about 20 seconds on my telemetry. We'll see as we go over the line how far back he actually is. Yeah, it looks to be about 20 seconds over Thomas Hins. So he's having an awesome race so far. He's been able to set a lap time of 1 minute 12.572, Daniel. And to put that out in a race with a full tank of fuel, because he did that one at the start of the race, guys, quite amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's actually 3/10 quicker than what we saw in race 1 from Jordan Ross. So, to have it, be able to do that with the amount of fuel on is not too bad. I mean, Jordan, a 1:12.8 in race 1 plays a 1:12.5 from Dane. Race 2, those guys are very quick, and shows they had the setup pretty well spot on for this race tonight.
Yeah, and if you put into factor that Thomas Tins, who's currently in second, has got over 1 second gap on the best lap time, and that 1 second is quite a huge margin. And at the moment, Thomas Hins is running about, I'd say about 6 to 7 tenths slower than Dane Warren, so that gap is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty certain Dane's pit crew are probably sitting out on the deck chairs having an ice cream watching the end of this one. He doesn't look like he's going to be headed too hard, but saying that, just behind them, Thomas Hins and Brian Borg, those guys are starting to condense up a bit now. The gap time, or the gap between those two, is just on a second. And looking at the laps the last few times, Brian has actually been a touch quicker than what we've seen from Thomas.
Yeah, that may play into his factor there. Brian Borg, it'd be good to see him get a second position here, break the 1-2 for ASM, but obviously we want to see that happen also. So we'll see what Borgie can do with, I don't know, about 5-6 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be a good one to watch. The other one that's not too bad at the moment is positions 4, 5 and 6. We've got the WPS concreting cars line astern here at the moment. Michael Talonjack, Cooper Webster, Marlon McMullen. Those guys are doing a good job getting around here and not having any contact. Marlon still looks a bit more racy out of the 3, but looks to be playing the team game at the moment, just racking up those points.
So that's 4, 5, 6, all PSS for the WPC concreting entries. There's the green, orange and red car. They'll be working together to use some bit of each other's draft to try and get up there as quick as possible and try and make up some ground on Brian Borg. It's about 3 seconds up the road.
Yeah, definitely. Not quite sure what happened to Brian. He's lost a touch more time just on the back of Thomas Hins at the moment. That gap is sort of growing. We're at 1.3 seconds, so fraction slower last time by about a tenth of a lap. Doesn't sound like much, but it is going to make it that little bit harder for that lap to get through. Looks like there's been a little more incident here with we have Thomas McMillan and Jacob Knight switching positions there in their little battles respectively as well. That's 11th and 12th at the moment, so not too bad from those guys.
Yeah, well, if you jump up to 10th position, you got Paul Press in the 029 car. He's currently leading a huge battle pack of about, I don't know, let's say 6 cars. It's all the way back to Adam Garner in the 50 car. Is in the LeBlanc Redback Racing team car. We saw that one get released last week at Le Mans. This is a nice little battle pack happening at the moment, Daniel, and it's shaping up to be a cracker.
Yeah, absolutely is. Some very quick cars in there, very consistent drivers. We know the likes of Henry King, Jacob Knight, really good. Greg Sharp does a great job there as well. So these guys not doing too bad, maybe stretching out a little bit through the quick sections there, but really condenses right up when the guys get back under brakes and through the slower twisty stuff.
Yeah, coming into this final hairpin for sure. You can see the 00 car of Henry King there. He decided he'd try to give it a crack up inside, realised it wasn't going to actually happen. He backed down, he's going to try to get a run off the corner. He was unable to. And that compromised a little bit of speed there. And now Adam Gardner's going to have a try and get by him this time by.
Yeah, I think Henry's probably got enough in it just to retain that 15th at the moment. He's running a new livery on that car tonight. It does look really good in that red, white and black design they've got on there from Synergy. And I think that's Watercraft as the sponsor on that one, if I'm not mistaken. And they're still pushing hard on the old retro NASCAR 2.24 livery that Jacob Knight's running just in front of them. Looks like a big moment there for Chris Robinson too. Nearly got in the back, which I think he actually did, in the back of Thomas, and almost had those two guys off in the wall. That was a big moment getting through the S's.
Oh, big one for Thomas McMillan. As we say that, he went round in the last hairpin. He hooked that one sideways. I'm sure we'll get a replay on that one for you. We'll just load that one up. Give us a moment. We're unable to get a replay on the Thomas McMillan incident there. We're back with Chris Robinson at the moment. We've now got it on screen for you. Thomas McMillan coming into the corner just locked the brakes, and he just couldn't get it straight enough as it just went round. He spun it in front of a couple of cars there, and that's very unfortunate for him. He was having a nice race, and he'll drop back down to about 29th on track with Chris Robinson.
Yeah, and that's actually taken out David Kidman as well, so not great for him there, but that was a big dive from Thomas. I think he actually had a bit of dirt on the tyres there as they got out of that last sequence of the chicanes there, ran very wide, and just couldn't pull that car up at all.
Yeah, as we say that, there is a 15 incident limit for this race, which isn't really mentioned often. But yeah, this track being one where you're hitting the curbs and going off track a little bit, trying to get a tenth or two, it can affect your that incident limit, and as a result, you still 3 cars get disqualified from the race.
Yeah, actually, I think the guys that did jump out would still be under that limit, but if they have had contact earlier and taken quick repairs, obviously that is going to ruin them out for the night. But the cars we did lose out of that as a result was Thomas McMillan. By the looks, it looks like Chris Roberts has also jumped out of that, and David Kidman as well. So lost some pretty quick cars as a result of that one.
Yeah, and just before we're on the final lap now with Dane Warren, he's currently still leading the race by about 40 seconds. Not quite sure what happened to... the telemetry issue, but Jordan Ross, JC Richards and Jackson Harlow, they're out of the race, and there's going to be a DNF as we got the cameras on board with Dane Warren as he comes through the final time around the back straight. Daniel, it's been quite a drive for him tonight.
Yeah, driven away from the field, got a great start, managed to get up into P1 very quickly on lap 1, and was never really headed. Really consistent lap times, and 20 odd second gap over second, nothing to be sneezed at all.
As we see him come around the final corner for race number 2. What a drive for tonight by Dane Warren. He'll take race number 2. And not too far down the track, coming to the final hairpin with the second ASM car. And ASM 1-2 of Thomas Hines. He'll come home in P2.
And Brian Ball gets home for a third in that laser racing car, so good job from him there. Cooper Webster managed to hold 4th over Marlon McMullen and Michael Talenjak in 4th, 5th and 6th for the WPS concreting cars, so good results from those fellows as well.
Yeah, Matt Muggleton, he come home in 7th position. He had a good drive today for sure. He started at 4th. He fortunately dropped 3 positions, but another great drive in this race. Jordan McDonald, he come home in 8th position as he started in P22. But we'll go over the results in a moment. We'll get back to those in a second.
And it looks like we had Greg Sharp actually run out of fuel right at the back end of that race, and managed to coast the car home by the looks, but lost quite a lot of position as a result of that one as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's dropped 5 positions just on the hairpin just for running out of fuel. That's very costly and very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's small missing calculation. He wouldn't be happy with that, but still managed to get it home, but probably ruining what could have been a good result for that car.
Yeah, he had a great drive all night, and We'll go over the results in a moment, but before we do that, we do thank everyone for coming along to watch. Don't go away anywhere. We've got interviews coming up very shortly. Today was the Sonoma 4080, presented by the Australian Online Supercar Championship. If you're ready to rock and roll, Daniel will head through the results for race number 2.
So coming home first tonight, Dane Warren for ASM, great result from him. Second place was Thomas Hinds, again ASM in P2. Brian Borg home in third tonight for Laser Racing, followed by Cooper Webster in fourth with Marlon McMullen behind him and Michael Talendak, and those guys coming home in the WPS Concrete cars. Matt Muggleton just behind those guys in seventh tonight with Jordan McDonald at eighth. Paul Preston got home in ninth tonight with Jacob Knight coming home in 10th.
Coming home in 11th tonight was Henry King. He had a nice drive starting out of P29. Coming home in 12th was Adam Gardner. 13th tonight was Adam Gardner, 12th. Greg Sharp, who came home in 14th. Matt Lepoidovin came home in 15th. 16th was Kyle Stokes. 17th was Brad Haig. 18th tonight was Jonathan Ben. Gary Dawkins come home in 19th. And rounding out your top 20 was Scott Clark.
21st tonight was Nathan Tregarthen with Tony Gaffer just behind him, and Nick Heusler in 23rd. Though Nick and Tony come home one lap down. That's not too bad a result there for the Stealth Force guys. Tyler Blackburn home in 24th with Daniel Stevens behind him. Craig Jones in 26th. Colin Bruns home in 27th tonight with David Kidmon in 28th. And we start getting down into the time. See, we had Thomas McMillan there coming home in 29th. Chris Robinson in 30th. 31st was Jordan Ross with JC Richardson 32nd. And rounding out the results tonight in 33rd was Jackson Harlow.
Yeah, unfortunately to see Jordan Ross, who won race double wide, unable to finish race number 2. Not quite sure what happened here. We might have to catch up with him if we have time a bit later on. But Daniel's raced out in the pit lane at the moment. We've got an interview with Brian Borg.
Anyway, good effort, man. Good race.
G'day, Brian. Welcome to the RRTV commentary box, mate. Congratulations. Third home tonight. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, boys. It was good racing. A bit hard with the tyres to hang on at the end, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How did you find the tyres? We know this track's pretty hard on them. I've seen at the end of the race a lot of tyre build up on the outside. Struggling a fair bit there, I'd imagine.
Just the last 4 laps, really. I just really felt in the last 4 laps they really just went off the edge. Just had to really break into the corner and get a good exit out.
Yeah, it's bit of an interesting one. How'd you find tonight with the reverse top 15? Had a good, obviously come home in third, but still 6 positions gained as a result of that start tonight.
Yeah, the reverse grid, it's good, but then again, it's you just got to watch your braking markers against the slower guys, and they do the right thing and stuff, but sometimes it just catches you off guard. Especially in the big braking areas where you're fully committed, but you can't do anything more to make it stop in time.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, especially when you're sort of starting through that, trying to look through those cars in front to still hit those markers. But, mate, look, congratulations. Well done on getting home in third. It's a great result for you and the Laser boys, and car looking very good out there in the new colours with the Optiplex on the side.
Yeah, got to give a shout out to Opticoat, man. They're doing an awesome job sponsoring this, and also doing a great job at the Australian Grand Prix with the McLaren out there. So, yeah, get behind them and look them up. Big things coming.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Before we let you go, we might see if Bailey's got a quick couple of questions for you, and then get a shout out again from all the sponsors on the car tonight.
Yeah, no problems.
Yeah, g'day, boy. Congratulations on third position tonight. Awesome drive there.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, it looked like the tyres Daniel picked up the last 4 laps. You looked like you were going to be on the back of Thomas there, and it looked like you could have catched him there in the last few laps. But yeah, the tyres dropped off. How are you feeling before all the tyres started to drop off?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of I could run with Thomas, but I don't think I had enough to get past him if I did get up to him. So it was really just keeping Michael behind at the time, just keeping the distance and not overdoing the tyres, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, get exactly what you mean. And yeah, pit strategy tonight, was that plain and simple? Did that have a bit of thought in it?
Yeah, I was actually going to pit the same lap that Marlon pit, but then a little bit of something just, I felt like maybe I should just run longer so I got better tyres at the end. And then when I seen Marlon pit, I'm like, well, I have to cover Marlon. So I pitted the lap later, and yeah, so that's how my pits worked out.
Yeah, well, your pits definitely worked out well for you. You got past Mullen, he finished in 5th position. But before we let you go, Borgie, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank once again?
Yeah, I've already gave a shout out to Optico. Also, Just a Vehicle Express. Yeah, that's a company that I work for. So if you've got any heavy vehicles that you need moving across Australia, across the Tasman, yeah, just hook me up and I'll get onto it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on 3rd place tonight, Borgie. Yeah, I've done an awesome job.
Thanks, guys. Well done on the broadcast, man. Awesome job.
All right, Daniel, what we'll do now is we'll head down in the pit lane with our 2nd place tonight, Thomas Hins, and you'll kick this one off as you're down there with him at the moment.
Yeah, we'll do. G'day, Thomas. Congratulations, mate. 2nd position tonight. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Great result for yourself and Day and ASM. 1-2, mate. Give us a bit of a rundown. How'd you find it out there tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, 2nd race when Dane got the 4th, I think it was in reverse, or 5th, sorry, in reverse grid. I kind of figured that we, as long as he didn't get any issues earlier on, he was probably going to start to trounce away people once he got in clean air. And then Muggleton was holding a bit of a train there in 2nd, which sort of helped him sort of get the gap out. But yeah, 1st race, I think 4th quali, got a decent enough start, held in 4th behind Jones. Credit to Craig, he drove really well actually, kept it in 3rd there, and we had a nice little battle, me, him, and Kipper Webster was behind him, a nice little tussle for the podium. But it's good to get 4th either way. And yeah, that was good. And then in the 2nd race, started obviously 11th to the reverse grid. Actually got a good start for once, which just never happens to me. I can't start these things to save my life, which is weird because I've driven that much. You'd think I'd be able to do it, but I still can't do it consistently. I'm usually terrible with it. But anyway, actually had a good start and kept it clean. Got some moves done early on, trying to get through the traffic. And then pit stops came around, and it was interesting because obviously Muggleton was holding everybody up, or holding me, Tally, and Cooper up. And it was interesting to play that card. Obviously, Telly went early, and then I was going to pit the lap after, but then Muggleton didn't, so I thought I'll stay out with Cooper, stay out one extra lap, and got the fuel. Thought I'll shortfall his touch and see how I go, and managed to beat everybody out just with the slightly less fuel, and just basically kept it going on the straight and narrow to the end, and finished about half a litre. So it worked out really well. So good to get double top 5, nearly double podium, but just 4th and 2nd, and really happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, great. Great job, race 1, coming home in 4th. With the switch in the reverse grid, we know Borgie was saying he had a bit of difficulty trying to find the brake markers with the cars around him. How did you find it, starting a little bit further back just behind him there?
I don't really find it too bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've just been maybe I've been up enough people's backsides to get used to it or something. I don't know, but I mean, I didn't find it bad. You just look at where your normal marker is, and just brake a bit earlier, because generally they're going to brake a bit earlier than you are. So you just brake a bit earlier than you normally would, and ease it, unless you're obviously going for a move, in which case you go for it. So I didn't find it too bad. It was not awful. So it was alright. So it was good to have some battles and have some fun in that 2nd race. And make some moves and all that. And the strategy with the pit was really cool too, how that sort of worked out. So really good. I mean, at this point I've done about, with Scops obviously being in the last few weeks, I've probably done, I would say, over like 600 laps or something around here in the last month. I've done a lot of laps around this track at this point now. So I know it. I know it all right. So that probably helped for tonight. But good fun.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And look, again, results are really starting to come your way. We know you're pretty well inside the top 10 towards the end of last season, and going strength to strength on this season as well. So I might hand you over to Bailey, see if he's got a couple of questions for you. But again, cracking result, 4th and 2nd tonight, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, well done on that one. And Thomas, congratulations on second place tonight, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're a man of lots of words. You're always doing very well. You're a man, but also it drives very well across different classes. And again, you've showed your efforts tonight in the V8 Supercar. You've done very well tonight.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, I guess I just love racing, as I think it's probably been said before. I just love to race. So pretty much anything, if it's a car that has wheels and goes around a track, I'm just like, yeah, let's do it. So there's probably one car that I can think of, because I started in R Factor and came to iRacing. Now iRacing is kind of my main one, but I do still do some RF2 stuff as well. And there's probably one mod in RF2 that I just couldn't drive. There was one mod. That's the only car that I've gotten in and gone, yeah, no, I can't do this. But every other car, I just, it's good fun. As long as it drives semi, sort of logically, it's good fun. So yeah, it's it's an interesting style. I don't recommend anyone do it because it's probably not healthy, but I have fun with it, and I think it helps helps you with adjusting the cars a bit quicker and all that kind of thing. So yeah, no, it's just my style. And yeah, I ramble away, I know, like I am right now, and I don't know if I'm right for or not, but hey, that's just how I go. So it's like my mind, it's got a lot there, so it just never stops. So sorry, not sorry is kind of my response to that, I suppose.
Nah, you always do a wonderful job, mate, and congratulations again on second position. You've done an awesome job for race number 2. Before we let you go, any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Rack Corp, Cash-Centric and Amid Servers, main sponsors, big thanks to them. Extreme Racing as well, big thanks to them for their continued support. And again, as always, massive thanks to the team. It's an awesome team, and the support we all have for each other. It's why we have a lot of banter and fun as well. This support while we race is just amazing as well. So big thanks to the team on that. And as always, big thanks to you guys for the broadcast. I'm sure it was A++ as per usual.
No worries, Thomas. Well, thank you once again, and congratulations on second position.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Well, that was second place, Thomas Hins, and we just before that we had third place Brian Bork, but now we've got fifth place finisher Marlon McMullen coming down into the pit lane. Daniel Layer's got him. We're unable to get a hold of Dane Warren at the moment. Looks like he's run off in the pits and gone hiding, but Daniel, you're with Marlon McMullen.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Marlon, congratulations, mate. Come home for second race 1 and a solid 5th in race 2 there. Looked like you're having a really good battle towards the end with the teammates. How'd you find it there in the both of those races?
Yeah, I mean, I've come straight from the Formula 1, so I'm absolutely sunburned and not really, a little bit knackered. I've done I think I did 30,000 steps according to my phone. I don't know if that's achievement or not, but move over Steve Monaghetti. But I've come straight from Albert Park. I haven't really done any practice at all. Jumped in and came second in the first race, which I couldn't believe. And then I thought, oh, that's not really a good thing, because now I'm going to start back in 14th for the second race. So it's one of those things, it sort of it bites you back, but I don't care. I love it. Starting back there, it gives me a chance to race people I haven't raced before. It's damn well nervous. You don't want to take anyone out, and especially when you're at the front of the pointy end of the championship, and you don't want to get any penalty points or just ruin anyone's night. And you just want to do as well as you can. So I was really happy to sort of come through, and got stuck behind Borgie for a little bit, but I had a really good battle with him, and we just latched onto the train that was in front of us. Tried to undercut him and come into the pit stop a little bit earlier, but I sort of mucked up my fuel because I didn't realise how much we were sort of saving behind the traffic at the start, and I put in 12 litres too much, which is I don't usually do. Usually I run out at the line, so it was a bit of a gross overestimate by a mile and a half. But yeah, you make do with what you got, and a bit of weight around you is not too bad. And yeah, able to come out behind Cooper and Tally, and had a really good race with them, and didn't want to take them out, obviously. Post-race, team discussions would have been interesting, but you just got to have fun behind them and respect their races, and that's what I did. And to be honest, towards the end, they had way more pace than me, so I've got to give it to the young boys. They're hot on my heels, so good on them.
Yeah, well, mate, look, coming home in 5th, nothing really sneaks out at all in the race, especially longer, and having been out all day watching the F1, I mean, geez, I'd rather be there than doing the work. But how'd you find sort of the tyres for this one, especially? Obviously, a bit extra weight gives you a bit of an advantage to help get it off the corners a bit more. Did you find it was chewing up those tyres a bit more around this place?
I found the weather a little bit tricky this week. Even coming, I haven't done many sessions, but I've done this session the other day, and I don't know, I just found there's a sweet point with the tyre balance at the moment with the pressures and all that. I'm obviously not going to say what it is, but you sort of try and put it around that mark, and then the next week all of a sudden it's a little bit higher or it's a little bit lower. So not knowing that beforehand really sort of hurt me. I found that in the first race, behind Jordan, we had a really good battle, and I could sort of see his tyres were a little bit better towards the end of the stint, and I could feel mine were sort of overinflating, and it felt like we're rubbing a balloon. They were just a little bit all over the shop. You didn't know what it was going to do, and but you just got to make do with what you got, and held on for the second race. And I probably do wish now I changed those pressures, to be honest, and put them a little bit lower. But it's one of those things you just got to sort of play around with it, and having so many guys on the team now, I can go back to Tally and Cooper and ask them what they're running, and they'll tell me what they've got, and we'll just correlate for next week and keep it in mind with these sort of circuits.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, no, doing a great job. Obviously, nothing to be sneezed at. We'll see you no doubt again next week, and as you said, you got championship to think about. Obviously, you're up the pointy end of that right now, so the points are going to play a big part of that. I might get out of here and let you have a chat to Bailey before we let you go. But look, congratulations, mate. Well done. Race 2 and race 1. Good results.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, g'day, Marlon. Congratulations on second place and fifth place in your races, respectively. You've done an awesome job tonight. Just going off race number 2, it looked like you were struggling a little bit earlier on in the battle packs, as you mentioned, and stuff like that. But other than a really good race, I haven't really got any questions. Daniel's taken the words right out of my mouth. So before we let you go, have you got any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, of course. I'll give you 1 second. A little bit of impromptu. Oh, no, I got my picture. Remember, I've got this picture ready to go. I just didn't have it as my desktop today. But obviously, thank you to Western Mazda for all the support, WPC Concreting, Performance Sim Sport, the team itself. As I said, the boys tonight, they did an absolutely triumphant job. I got to give it to Tally and Cooper. They worked together. And then towards the end, even Tally, pulled over and gave the position to me and Cooper for championship points, which was really, I remember that. So it's really nice of him. Night Rider Designs for painting the car, Motion Performance Exhaust Center, and GDH iRacing Images.
Awesome. Well done, and congratulations on your second and fifth once again.
Thank you, guys. And got to get up early again to go back to the Formula 1.
All right, Daniel. Well, that will wrap up our interviews for tonight. As we got to prepare for tomorrow night, Daniel. If you want to take us through tomorrow night's events here at RRTV.
Yeah, definitely. So tomorrow, Saturday, GT3 Fun coming out. 2 races that we will have the guys covering tomorrow night. So we've got the RacingLeagues.com GT3 action. That'll start at 7:40 GMT plus 10 tomorrow. And that's actually going to have Bernie Weemers, who's sat in behind the cameras tonight, and Weehan Chan commentating that one. And following on from that at around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about GMT plus 10. We're going to have Sim Races Asia GT3 again, and that will also have Weehan Chan, Bernie Weemers, and Scott Newton covering that one. So good bit of fun for the GT3s, and then obviously we're going to start turning our attention back to next week's schedule. So more of the same, more Oscar. I know we've got some Speedway action coming up as well. Get back to the V8s again come Friday night as well. So a lot of fun ahead of us.
Yeah, that's right. We've also got the Monday night skips there. So RRTV's always keeping busy, and we're always there. Make sure you check out our Facebook page for upcoming events, event details, and etc. But in regards to the Australian Online Supercar Championship, Daniel. Don't know where I got David from. We've got a week off next week, so we can rest our voices, and we'll be back, it looks like, on the 6th of April, the Sebring 650.
Yeah, so the guys will enjoy a bit of time off next week. Obviously, we got Easter to look forward to, so that'll be a bit of fun. But getting these cars then shipped over to America to do, well, still in America, going over to Sebring next, complete different change of track. You know, get away from the rolling landscape here at Sonoma over to the old harsh concrete setup that is Sebring. V8s around there are going to be a lot of fun as well, and fairly bit different thinking mentality to set those things up and get the most out of them too.
That's right. It's a longer race, so it takes a bit more thinking about it, but don't get too worried. There still will be Friday night racing. We've got the Porsche Carrera Cup, so as we said, everything is happening here at RRTV, and it's only getting bigger and better as the weeks go on. And well, the schedule's looking pretty hectic, Daniel, for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you like your Porsches, your GT3s, the V8s, your Skippies, your Oscar series, you know where to tune in, RRTV. Thank you to all the guys obviously tuning in on the YouTube tonight. Really good support from you guys, able to answer some really good questions, which was great. It keeps us entertained as well with some of the comments and point outs. So thank you to that. And I think we might let all the viewers get out of here and get out of here very soon. So on behalf of Bailey Hall, Bernie Weemers behind the camera, and myself, Daniel Eat, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And we will catch up with you possibly tomorrow night, hopefully.